In this question, we're going to determine the inverse of the function given with the restriction x must be greater than or equal to 3. We're going to do that algebraically. Then we're going to graph the given function and its inverse and state the domain and range of both. Well, the given function is stated there. What we're going to do is let y be g of x, so we're going to be able to state the equation this way. We're now going to switch x with y, so we give it a let statement there. And we're putting x in for y and y in for x, and this is what we get. X is greater than or equal to 3 means y is greater than or equal to 3. Okay. Now we're going to solve for y, so we're going to add 1 to each side, divide each side by -2. And now we need to square root each side, and typically what we would do is to take the positive and negative square roots. However, in this case, we know that our restriction is clear, and since y has to be greater than or equal to 3, we're only going to take the positive square root. If we were restricted to y being less than or equal to a number, we would have taken the negative square root. So when we square root both sides, we're going to have x plus 1 over -2 is equal to y minus 3. We're going to clean up the fraction because we don't like negative denominators. And so we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by -1. We get this expression here. And then we add 3 to both sides. And so we can say that our g inverse of x quantity is -x minus 1 all over 2. This, by the way, this horizontal bar should extend a little further out than it does. It should incorporate that negative as well. Okay? Now, what we can now do is graph the original function, which is a downwards opening parabola on only the right-hand side of it. We can then reflect it in the line y equals x, and we get the graph of the inverse. If we don't like doing that, then we can use our transformation method, factoring out -1/2, having the a, k, d, and c values, and then graphing the way we know how to do. Stating our domain and range of both the original and the inverse, we get that the domain of the original blue curve is x greater than or equal to 3, and the range is y less than or equal to -1. And looking at the inverse, we get that the domain is x less than or equal to -1 and y greater than or equal to 3 for the range. Once again, we see that the domain of the original corresponds precisely with the range of the inverse, and the range of the original corresponds precisely with the domain of the inverse.